What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of SkuxxVerse. Really excited today. We've got some pretty special announcement to make. But before I go any further, I want to talk about what we've already done. Okay, what has SkuxxVerse already achieved? Because we have a long fucking list. And apologize for my language, but at the end of the day, in this NFT industry, it's very easy to forget about the milestones that we've achieved. So I'm actually the same way, right? Like I often am so focused on what's next, what we can accomplish next, that I sometimes forget about the foundation we've already built. So let's talk about it. We have 50 NFT worlds. Majority of those are top 50% rarity. We've got many 1, 2, 3%ers, and nonetheless have a really exciting sort of portfolio of NFT worlds. And secondly, we have over 4,000 Ethereum trading volume. And everybody knows that's been with us from the start that I dedicate out of our royalties we receive from our Ethereum traded on OpenSea, LooksRare, etc. That I take half of that 8% and I use it for overhead expenses, buying more NFT worlds, hiring staff, legal teams, etc. I use the other 4%. Sorry, I messed that up. The NFT worlds aren't in this 4%. I use the other 4% to buy more NFT worlds and to create more exciting experiences for our holders, right? If we're not using it directly for overhead expenses, we're using it to further create value. That's from the royalties perspective, and that's something I'm very proud that SkuxxVerse does, because it's not mandatory for projects to do that. So it's something I always try to think back on, because what you'll find if you're a long-term holder, that regardless of what the floor price does, we're still killing it when it comes to volume traded, right? So we're able to utilize those funds and always create a more like exciting experience overall. What else? We have a really good team at SkuxxVerse. Our staff, we have investment bankers, we have accountant majors, we have builders, developers, Web3, just elite all round pioneers and architects. And then our community. Like, I'm going to give credit to that. The way that we've kind of created a culture at SkuxxVerse from the start was we're classy, and we're going to just stay together through all the ups and downs like this. There's no straight up direction for any NFT project. You go through hoops, you make adjustments. You can't always rely on a consistent sort of way of doing things. You have to always be prepared to be flexible, and I think the community has represented that. You know, the way that the community welcomes new members, but also doesn't put up with nonsense. You know, like whenever we see a community member, not they don't have to be talking about SkuxxVerse in a bad manner. They could be talking about any other project on NFT worlds that are utilizing the ecosystem, and talk about them in a bad matter, and we ban them, right? It doesn't matter if you're an investor in SkuxxVerse. If you're not willing to just be classy and keep negative comments about any project, including SkuxxVerse, if you're not prepared to keep that out of Discord, then we don't have time for you. So I'm really proud of the way that our culture in SkuxxVerse has developed over time. With that being said, I've talked about a few things. We've also released Golf World, which is a fun sort of leisure activity. I know guys are taking business meetings there, and they're enjoying, a round of golf in the metaverse while they're able to talk big plans with their mates. So that's cool. That NFT world was never designed to be a money maker. It's in-game economy is not what we focused on. It was more just some kind of exciting utility for our pass holders and public to enjoy, and then offering also world prizes, world token prizes for lowest score of the week, which is really cool. Like, we've been paying out guys enough world through those winnings to go and mint a Hero Galaxy artifact. I saw someone talking about that the other day because it's on the Polygon network. So it's brilliant how these things are sort of crossing paths. But one thing I haven't mentioned in milestones that we've hit, and this is directly correlated to the announcement that I swear I'm going to drop to you guys in the next 3, 4, 5 minutes. We have gotten this massive foundation of NFT worlds, big budget. A lot of building is happening right now. Crazy amount of building. Like Metacrafters and our in-house Skux builders are going nuts. Like they're producing some of the most innovative, like game-changing NFT worlds coming out. We're pushing for the end of April for the gladiator world and exotic pet racing. Um, so we're still looking to hit that time frame. And then of course what Metacrafters is doing with Skux City is sort of an ongoing project, because in about 3 to 4 weeks we can expect the main city to be developed, and then a month later we can just expect all the personal real estate that's getting rolled out for our token holders. That will be developed within the month after, and then the following month will include some more mini games and engaging activities, right? Now, one thing I haven't mentioned is, what is SkuxxVerse doing to keep up with the times? We were ahead of the game when it came to buying NFT worlds, right? Check right there, we're good. But now we're seeing a lot of cool projects coming up and producing some insanely engaging NFT worlds. You know, we're seeing hundreds of players on some of these, and I say hundreds in 2022. It's gonna be hilarious in 2025 when there's thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, playing in a lot of these servers, and you'll think of hundreds as, wow, that was early, right? But anyway, we're seeing some really cool projects that are leading the way. With hundreds of players right now, 24 hours. So it means hundreds are always in that server and spending world and the economies and just engaging and having fun. Like the proof of concept is there with some of these projects that I will be the first to admit have overtaken SkuxxVerse. And I don't like to use that word because it's not like it's a race really, because we're still just all around working to bring in the massive Minecraft influx of millions of players. Everything that these other projects are doing is just helping that overall trend of bringing over Minecraft players. So it's not really a race. And because SkuxxVerse is doing something so big with Skux City, we're not going to try to rush that, because we don't want to put out an unfinished product and then use our mark, because we have a big budget, like I've mentioned, a huge budget in place for influencers, Minecraft influencers, to come in and play into our metaverses that SkuxxVerse offers, and talk about it and show their overall opinion. And we don't want to push out an unfinished product when that happens, because we're not paying them to just lie and say that it's really cool. We are going to provide them with something that is really, really exciting and engaging, and then have them test it out and it'll be the proof in the pudding right there. So yeah, there's projects out there that have got much higher in-game player volume inside their NFT worlds right now, which is extremely impressive, because the market for these players is still in its infancy stage. Like the overall number of players interested right now in NFT worlds is growing tremendously at an insane rate, but as of where we stand right now is infant compared to what we're looking like in a year's time from now. But at any rate, I've made the decision. Here's where the announcement's coming. I've made the decision to offer a massive portion of SkuxxVerse City in the main area, because we're building, Skux City is going to be the massive hub where we're going to host tens of thousands of players. And in the middle of Skux City, we're officially partnering with Mine Nations, who are amongst the top 3 played NFT worlds right now. The top 3 highest traffic inside NFT worlds are going to develop one of the most engaging, exciting, and we're going to have them on a Twitter space to explain all of this throughout the week. But they're going to provide us and build into Skux City a mini game that's going to be built, designed, and maintained by Mine Nations, and we'll be completely transparent with what goes on behind the scenes in this contract, because it's not just, they're not coming in to develop this for no reason. So that's the big announcement, is that Mine Nations is going to build a mini game in the very center of Skux City. well, in one of the, it's picture like a big square in one of the maybe top right section. And they've already got the proof of concept because, again, like I said, top three leading the industry right now with traffic inside their um, inside one of their mini games, and these guys haven't even marketed themselves. This is the thing, guys. This is why I'm really proud of this partnership, because we are in a large monopoly. We have a lot of traffic, we have a lot of interest, and a lot of investors. I couldn't wait when I saw, because I listened. I read in the general chat of SkuxxVerse about, you guys should check out My Nations. They're doing something pretty insane. You guys, have anyone heard of My Nations? No, because they're not trying. They're doing what SkuxxVerse did at the start. We didn't market. We had no marketing funds. We did, but I took them and I spent them on NFT worlds because I knew, just like My Nations is doing, that the word would get out what the project's about and the culture and what direction they're heading, and the barriers and the innovation that comes with it, the barriers that they're breaking through. And I see why My Nations and SkuxxVerse will prosper together long run. And I don't mean that as in secluding themselves from every other project out there. We're still going to have portals from Skux City. I've gotten dozens of projects reaching out to Skux City about putting a portal on the outskirts so that someone can go back and forth between our world and another world from another project. So I've welcomed pretty much any NFT world right now that's working exclusively inside the NFT world ecosystem. And then I'm going to do a second wave of projects that are utilizing the NFT world's ecosystem but do have other sort of pathways that they're going on. And anyway, back to the main news. My Nations will be producing a mini game for SkuxxVerse, and the in-game economy in this mini game is going to be what we prioritize, because it's going to be in the middle of the city, right? Business Avenue, pretty much. These are where our highest world generating buildings, and sort of plans of infrastructure will come in. And so, with that being said, SkuxxVerse and My Nations. So if you hold My Nations, this is really exciting for you guys. We're going to split the in-game economy. So all of the world that comes in through this mini game, we're going to split it 50-50 down the middle. So they're going to use their 50% of the income for whatever they have planned in their roadmap. I can't speak on that. I'm not the founder. But we're going to use our 50% to send back to our token holders every single airdrop, as we do it around here in SkuxxVerse, right? That's what we do here. So I was just really excited to tell you guys that we were proactive. We saw that we are leading the way in so many directions, but we can't pretend be so egotistical just to pretend that we have no one that we can learn from and that we can embrace. And so, while Metacrafters and Skux builds are designing and going crazy, designing the top of the line Skux City as a whole, we're going to have My Nations work on that portion of Skux City. So if you aren't woke now to what Skux City is going to do, I hope you get into the Twitter Spaces this week, because we're going to break it down even further, guys. But this is big. This is big. This is taking a project who hasn't marketed themselves, done the true SkuxxVerse way of letting the product speak for itself, and has managed to land themselves in the top three consistently all year round, because their founders are top Web3 builders as well, right? And that's a huge asset for My Nations. So if you're listening and you're thinking about investing into My Nations and minting, I'm not going to tell you what to do. You do your own research. But from my perspective, that's a Swiss Army knife right there. Having a founder that not only is looking after the community wallet or whatever their plans are, but is also the one with being able to make constant updates, decisions, maintenance, upgrades all the time, 24/7, not having to outsource that. Basically, they're doing a step under what SkuxxVerse is doing, because we had to go and get in-house builders so that we could have what these founders of My Nations can do. So I really think they're going to be extremely successful. and they've proved enough for me. I listened to the SkuxxVerse community. I saw what you guys are putting down, the guys that were going out there and enjoying NFT World / play and seeing, oh, what's the news here, because there's so much traffic all the time. You know, these guys have 200 plus members constantly. And so I'm really excited to bring these two worlds together, bring SkuxxVerse and My Nations together, and I think it's going to be really beneficial for both parties, guys. But yeah, we're going to have some Twitter Spaces this week. Otherwise, cheers, guys. I hope you're as excited as I am.